Dating women didn't just help me to understand women, it also helped me to understand men. Being a bisexual woman has given me a lot of insight into modern dating and relationships, and in this video, I'm gonna share some of my experiences. So let's get started. The first thing that I realized is that women communicate indirectly, and it is genuinely hard to navigate. What I learned is that women, even the most therapized, best communicators among us, rarely say what it is that they actually need. They communicate indirectly, and they rely on that level of indirect communication. It's something that we do with other women, and so it's kind of the way that we operate, and then we expect the people that we are dating to understand our hints, our tone, our nonverbal communication, our energy shifts, and our subtle cues. So when I was with women, I often felt the same kind of confusion that many of my male clients report, like I'm doing what she asked for, but somehow it's still wrong. I don't understand why it's wrong. And I'll give you an example, not someone that I was dating, but a female friend of mine actually ended a friendship with me because even though I was doing the things that she requested, she said that it wasn't actually what she wanted. And she didn't want to be in a friend, platonic relationship with someone who couldn't understand how to be there for her in the way that she needed, even though I was doing what she said she needed. It was really painful. Anyway, the moral of the story is that men are not clueless. The instructions are confusing. All right, second thing that I realized is that the masculine frame is not at all theoretical. It's real and it feels like pressure. So women often say that they want their partner to hold the masculine frame, right? To be the wall that the wave crashes against, the thing that contains the storm. And being with a woman showed me what it feels like to feel like you have to stay grounded, like you have to lead, like you have to know what to do, like you have to be the calm. My inner experience as someone who mostly identifies as very feminine is that it was kind of scary because what if I don't know what to do? What if I can't hold it all together while she's falling apart? What if I want to fall apart? What if I don't want to be the wall, but I want to be the storm, okay? It helped me to realize that men are not weak. They've just been given an impossible job that doesn't come with any sort of instruction manual, and they're supposed to act all the time like they know exactly what they're doing. Brings me to realization number 3. Women expect their partners to know what's going on and take care of them, and those expectations can be tremendous. Being with women taught me the intensity of that sort of double expectation. Know what I need intuitively and help me to emotionally regulate even when I don't know what I need. We often think about women as the caretakers in relationship, and that's fair. For the most part, women are conditioned to caretake, but we don't give men the credit that they deserve for the caretaking that they do. And I'm saying this also as a partner, as a female partner. I can realize now that I've put my male partners in this situation where I want them to know what's going up with me and take care of me all at the same time. And this can make men feel like they can never get it right because they're supposed to know everything and hold everything simultaneously. Which brings me to the fourth realization that I had. Female arousal is complex. The first time that I was face to face with a vulva, even though I very much wanted to be there and had been trying to figure out how to have sex and get into a sexual situation with a woman for a long time, I felt a tremendous amount of pressure. And this is I have this body. I know all the parts. I'm a professional. Was I professional at that point? Yeah, I was a professional. I was a professional educator at that point. I understood everything I needed to understand in order to succeed, and I was still a little panicked because women's arousal is contextual. Women's bodies are sensitive. They do change day to day and week to week. There's a lot going on, and they often need a tremendous amount of presence and slowness and nuance, and it can feel like staring at a vulva is more like trying to crack a safe than it is to figure out how to put together this sexy puzzle. What I understood about men then is that they're not rushing or being clumsy in bed because they're insensitive. They're anxious and they're just trying not to fail. And that is a pretty intense frame to hold. Which brings me to number 5. Feminine chaos is real and it is not easy to hold. I once had a moment where I was helping this woman to prepare for a trip, and I walked into her apartment and I saw that her suitcase was in the middle of the floor, totally empty, and then Everything was just completely strewn about everywhere. There was stuff everywhere. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, this is feminine chaos. I've been that woman before. I've been overwhelmed and dysregulated and impossible to support and just completely lost inside of the chaos of it all, thrashing around and just like making it worse as I'm going, and expected a male partner to sort of like help me contain myself and be the person to hold me while I got it all together. And when men don't want to do that, when they turn away, when they don't feel confident that they're capable of doing that, that's not them being cold. That is them being overrun by a swirl of emotion and intensity as it's coming up at them. We just have sort of different ways of being with that overwhelm. Realization number 6, women have an enormous capacity for grace, but it's often conditioned and not fully authentic. What I mean by this is that women often are quick to forgive and soften and make space, make peace, and move on. But sometimes that is coming from their conditioning and it's not their truth. We don't want to blame women for this because this is how they are raised and the expectations that are made of them, but then they end up being resentful because they're not actually feeling that way. They don't actually want to forgive and move on, or they don't actually feel great about whatever just happened, but they've been taught that they need to just like make peace and then let that fester inside of them. And that leads to women not being clear. That leads to us not being honest about our limits. That leads to us sometimes forgiving before we're actually ready to, in order just to keep the peace. And so of course men are going to be confused because they might feel like the rules are changing moment to moment. Like, we already made up about this, but you're still angry about it. It is a beautiful thing that a lot of women have space in their hearts to forgive and like move on quickly, but only when it is true. Which brings me to realization number 7. Dating women made me feel protective of men. I saw how impossible the expectations for men can be and how much they get blamed for that stuff when they don't get it right. Dating women made me want to help boys become men. Many of the myths and things that we believe culturally about men, both men and women, are untrue. Like, men aren't emotionally unavailable. Sometimes they're just overwhelmed. Men aren't necessarily bad communicators. They're just working with mixed signals. They're not necessarily weak. They're carrying so much silently. And this is why I have created an entire half-day summit just to support men in learning these systems so that they can show up clearly and confidently in the way that they want to. Men don't have a sex problem. They have a system problem, a relational problem, a pressure problem. And that is why I built this completely free summit so that men can come and learn about the best ways, tips, techniques, and tactics for dealing with the romantic and sexual and erotic relationships that they hold dear. Whether you're in a long-term relationship or single and looking to start a relationship, you need the tools and the tactics that you were just not given and are expected to somehow, I don't know, pull from the ether and automatically understand. Sign up, register for the summit January 17th. It will be recorded. Give me your email address. I'll make sure that you get it. I just want you to have everything that you need that I can give you after 10 years of working with men in this capacity to help you to have the best relationships and the best sex of your life, because that is what you truly deserve. I will see you there on January 17th. Mwah! Bye.